Hi guys, how are you? And welcome to my Tuesday talks. For these talks, I usually take some of the questions or that people make me like a lot during my or along with my posts. And one of them is they would ask me like, how do I lose? What exercise can I do to lose fat on my stomach? Or how do I lose fat on my arms or my legs? What exercises can I do to lose fat in those parts of my body? The thing is, like, we cannot choose where we lose the fat. In order to lose fat, we need to burn more calories than we eat. So that means we have to be in a calorie deficit. To get to that, either you just make sure, that's why I always recommend getting one of those apps like MyFitnessPal to track what you eat, because unless you do that or you keep a diary like for a couple days, 2-3 days, couple days during the week and a day during the weekend, to kind of get an idea of what you're eating and how many calories you're eating. And if that's what you've been gaining weight for a while, then that means obviously you're eating too much. If you're losing weight, well, you're eating too little. So it has to be like, first you have to figure out how many calories you burn. You burn resting plus your daily activities you usually do. And maybe right now you're not as active because a lot of us are just stuck at home or trying to stay at home as much as we can. So the first thing you need to do is figure out how many calories you eat and you burn in a day. And then from there, you need to, if you want to figure out what your goal is. If your goal is to lose the weight, lose fat, to lose fat, you need to lose weight. That means you have to be in a calorie deficit. And we cannot exercise a certain part of our body to lose fat in that part of our body. It doesn't matter how many bicep curls or tricep extensions you do to lose the fat, like here, that the one that moves when we wave hello to someone. It doesn't matter how much exercise or how many abdominals you do, you're not gonna burn the fat in that area specifically. What is gonna happen is what you need to adjust, if you want to lose fat, you need to adjust how you eat. You need to eat healthy. You need to drink a lot of water. You need to choose whole foods, like not avoid what is processed, avoid the cookies, the pastries, chips, all that is really heavily processed and full of chemicals that sometimes we cannot even pronounce. And once you start eliminating all those foods and making those adjustments and following consistently a calorie deficit, and never, I'm not talking about going on like in those crazy diets of 1,000 calories or 1,200 calories and eating just lettuce. I would never advise to go on any crazy diet. The body needs at least 1,200 calories for our like usual functions, like for our brain to function properly, for our organs to function properly. Once we cut back too much on our calories, our metabolism goes crazy and we start having a bunch of health issues that is not, it defeats totally the purpose of what we're trying to do. Try to get us healthier. And so that's why having an app, figuring out how many calories and what your goal is. And those apps will tell you, like, depending if you want to lose 1 pound a week or 2 pounds a week, which is, I think, the most that you should, aim to lose, a couple pounds a week, between 1 and 2. And slowly, once you start losing weight, you're going to be losing the fat. The key here is to do resistance training, because if you start like just losing weight, you don't do any resistance training, you're gonna start eating up the muscle you have too. So when you go and take your like percentage measure, if your muscle, the pounds of muscle you have gone down and your fat has gone down, your total body fat percentage may not move a lot, and you're gonna be like, well, I lost a bunch of weight. Why is my body fat still the same? Because you're losing muscle. So once you combine resistance training with a good diet and an appropriate amount of calories for your activity, then you start losing the fat. You keep that muscle. If you eat enough protein and you work out with your weights, your resistance training, your muscle is going to stay the same and your body fat is going to keep going lower and lower. So your body fat percentage is going to start going and down. And then where you lose your body fat is going to be more so dependent on your genetics, how like the shape of your mom's body, or how you're genetically predisposed to lose the fat. And usually the last fat we gained, like that's the first fat that is gonna be gone. And like in my case, I tend to gain in my belly. That's where the first time, like when I start eating too much, I immediately notice it in my belly. And once I start like, okay, adjusting, I need to adjust. I went overboard like with the eating, I need to adjust. So once I start adjusting, I see how it starts first coming off like more noticeably in my abdominal area and then in my hips. So that depends on each person. Some people are gonna lose it first in their glutes, and then on their belly, and then on their hips, and then on their legs. So it just depends on each person. So the takeaway from this is like, you cannot target your fat like loss, the body part where you want your fat to like where you want to lose it, but a good combination of resistance training with a healthy diet will get you the results. Because once that body fat starts like shaving off, coming off, you're gonna have nice muscles they're gonna start showing. Once you kind of shave that layer of fat off, you're gonna start seeing those nice toned muscles that you have built and kept through your resistance training. Also, if you're until things kind of settle still with the COVID-19, with this crisis we're going through, I know a lot of people have had the challenge to work out at home. I have a fitness plan that is 12 weeks. It's called 12 Weeks to Fit. And it has videos for each exercise. It's organized or structured in 4 cycles of 3 weeks each. We start from very basic movements for each muscle group. I explain in each video what's the proper form, how to perform that exercise. It's all laid out, how many reps, how many sets, how you can like adjust the days, like depending on your specific daily routine. So it has the videos, it has nutritional guidelines, so some education and some guide to kind of get you in how to make the best and more healthier decisions to get to your goals. It has calendars, workout tracker, like to keep a track of all your workouts and how much weight you use. You only need a bench. If you don't have a bench, you can use a chair. If you don't have a chair, you can use the floor. So really it's very easy. It is done with a set of dumbbells, but if you don't have dumbbells, you can use water bottles. You can adjust it. You can ask me via email, or I'm gonna have a Facebook group that you can join. If you have any questions, you can adjust it, like to use bands. So the exercises are pretty basic, and they build up progressively until like the last cycle, and we incorporate cardio bursts to get that fat burning a little bit more accelerated at the end of the plan. So if you want that plan, it's available in my website, KeishaFitFunStyle.com, and I'm offering a 20% discount, limited until the situation kind of clears off and things go back to normal in most of the countries. And so all you have to do is use this code that is in your screen right now, and you would get 20% off on the plan. So hope you have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Have an awesome day, and thank you so much for joining me in this Tuesday Talk. Bye.